Hi everybody, it's that Friday feeling again. I just need to move my chair. See, always keep thinking I'm set up ready and I'm not. Get comfy. Right, okay. So Friday, 19th of November. Thank you for all my birthday wishes last weekend. Hope you enjoyed wrapping things for last week's tag. So this week's tag, this has been inspired by this little set of owls that I've got in my room. I have had those for absolutely years. I don't even know if this company exists anymore. It's called Twiddlebits. Whimsy Bird Friends. I think it's a scrapbooking company. I just bought them because I absolutely love the birds and I just have them hanging in my room and I've never done anything with them. And I spotted them the other day when I was sorting things out and I thought, ooh, birdie tag. So I've got these just so you can have a look at different shaped birds. You can totally come up with your own. It's perfectly fine. They're a bit whimsical. They could be real, but they can just be imaginary. And we're going to use Bondaweb again, this tag. We used it on the applique and the reverse applique, no, the applique one, and a couple of people asked me could I go through using Bondaweb again, so I thought this would be an ideal tag to do that. So I've got my little birdies, so I sort of know what sort of shape. I think I'm going to do something a little bit like that one. Gathered my fabrics together, so I've got my ironing mat, and I've got my iron. I'm not particularly great fond of ironing, but here we go, we're doing an iron tag. So I've got my backing piece of fabric. This is actually a bit from the collaboration that I did last year from Rachel at Roxy Creations. It's a little bit of the bag that she made. I've used the rest of it on the actual project. So I'm going to use this as my backing piece. And I might even keep that bit there at the bottom. Ooh, or should I go for that? Oh no, go for that side because then we've got like a little edging. So I am sort of cheating, I suppose, a little bit because I've already got something made. Oops, that I'm going to use as my background, but I don't want it as a double piece of fabric, so I'm going to have to try. Just going to remove that bit because otherwise it's going to be an absolute nightmare to stitch together. So you could create yourself a little bit of a an edging to your piece, or you can just use bits of fabric. As usual, it is totally up to you. Right, so I'm going to use that side. So let's get my tag. Let's work out where it's going to stop. Right, and then you need to gather yourself together bits of fabric for your bird. So we're going to use a piece for the background of your bird to create its body. And then we're going to cut up little bits and pieces to make the other bits. Now you see, I'm sat here thinking, totally forgot to get myself some baking paper when I was getting ready. Never mind, it's going to be fine. So I've got myself a piece of Bondaweb. So what Bondaweb is, or fusible film, or whatever it is that you want to call it, it has paper on one side. It feels rougher on the other because there's actually, don't know how well you'll be able to see that. Oh, there we go. There's this really fine mesh, and this is the glue. This is the bit that's going to iron everything together. And it's ideal for using if we're using lots of little bits of fabric because it glues it and bonds it all down. You don't get frayed edges, so it makes it, it's just really great to use. So if I've got my little birdie, it might be that you might want to draw yourself a shape out on a piece of paper just so that you know the sorts of things that you're going to do. So I'm going to use a bit of this dark blue, I think, as my body. You don't want to use fabrics that are too thick. The main reason being is, number one, it makes it really, really hard to sew, and actually cotton fabrics work a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer onto my piece of Bondaweb my bits of fabric that I want to use. So I'm going to sort of create like a bonded piece of fabric. So probably end up, I know what everybody's like when they start auditioning their fabrics, you're going to end up with a lot more than you need, but it's always better to have a little bit too much than not enough. And what you'll also end up having as well is some fabrics that have got Bondaweb on the back. So if you're doing a project like this again, you can just go straight into a box, and you can just like have a little box that just has all your bonded bits of fabric. So I've got some William Morris fabric, some of it's a little bits of upholstery fabric, some's a bit of linen, a little bit of cotton. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. I don't. Right, so even if you think, oh, I'm not sure, so it's a good idea just to cut it up, layer up your fabric. It's better to have too much than not enough. I quite liked that yellow end there. I quite like that texture. So that's probably a little bit thicker. It's a bit of like upholstery fabric. Oh, I've just looked up to check that my voice is on. It is. It's like been my Achilles heel, that. Is she speaking? Isn't she speaking? We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, I'm not going to put, because I was going to put that. That was going to be the original bit that I was going to have for my little bird to sit on. Still quite like that. Oh, right, I think what I might do is I might try it on two. No, go with the original idea, Anne. It's fine. Yeah, stop faffing. Not allowed to faff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cover the whole of this. Now what I would normally do, and what you should always really do, is when you're doing this, is put a piece of baking paper over the top. So what I'm going to do is just cut myself another bit of Bondaweb. Just so I can use. Saves me having to stop and go downstairs and find the baking paper. It can stay there. Right, so peel that off the back. So that's the mesh. That's like the gluey sort of mesh. Keep that over there. Right, so what you want to do then, this would normally be baking paper or greaseproof paper. Little iron. And you're just going to iron, quite a hot iron. Iron all your pieces down. You could do these all individually if you wanted to. So you could have lots of bits, but this just means you've got everything all in one piece. You've ironed it all down. There we go. Right, I'm just going to turn my iron off so then I don't end up catching my arm. A little bit of health and safety. Okay, and we're back. Right, so now we come into construction. Oh, yeah, I'm still not 100% sure about that. Just worried it's going to be a bit thick to stitch through. Oh, decisions, decisions, decisions. Do I go with just a blue backing? Right, if you're never know sure what to do, go. You see, I've had blue for my last couple of tags. It's not a good idea. What else have we got? Let's have a look. What have we got in this? Oh, see now, that's pretty. And it's got a frayed bottom. Right, my iron's still hot. Right, change of plan. Sorry, Rachel, I'm now not using that piece. I'll use that for something else. Right, change of plan. We're going with the green. Okay. It's one of the ideal things of having your scrap bucket right in front of you. You change your mind, just go for something else. And it doesn't matter if you change your mind at all. I know sometimes I've ended up doing 2 tags. That goes on that side. Right, come on, I'll concentrate. Right, move that up a bit. There we go. Right, I feel like I should have a tag take 2. Right. Okie dokie. Right, we're off again. Move all those out of the way. There we go. Right, tag frayed bottom. Okay, right, so I might go with my original plan. Oh, but maybe not. Right, let's leave that to one side. Make the bird. Excuse me. Right then. So, I can now use the blue for the body, which will stand out. So what you can do now is grab that, and grab a pencil. Just work out where the edge of my tag is. So what you can do is on the back of your piece is you can start drawing. I'm just going to keep my little birdie quite simple, like a semicircle. I always have a dilemma as well with scissors when you're cutting Bondo web, because Bondo web's like a paper, but it's bonded onto fabric, and it's like, do you use your fabric scissors? Do you use your normal scissors? Such a dilemma. Okay. Right, there we go. So I've got his little body. And now what we can just start doing now is just start playing and adding up other bits and pieces. So having all these bits of fabric, you might not use all of them, but it just gives you options. It just means that you've got them already on your Bondo web. Now what you can start doing is start playing around with the patterns that you can see on your fabric. So that's a really pretty petal, which could double up as a wing. Oh, that's cute. Oops. And just by having the Bondo web on now, try a bit more, just means that the edges won't fray, which is great. Little wing. He's got some little tufty things on his head. Don't know what colour to do. Got his little legs. Could stitch his little legs. I might have a go. Just trying to bond down some fabric. Quite like the dude at the bottom, his long legs. Ah, he's funny. Little beak. Got a bit of black on that one there. Cut into that. So you're thinking I'm doing all this and I've just realised I've got no threads or anything ready for the next bit. Oh dear. Right, there we go. Needs these little flashy bits on now. I'll go for that different colour. Oh, didn't I iron any of that on? Oh yes I did. There we go. So I'm probably not going to use all these bits. So It's one of those things when you start doing this, you think it's going to be a really big piece, but the tags are not that big at all. Okay. Right, little snippets. There we go. So we can add other bits as well once it comes round to stitching. Right, add another triangle. There we go. So we've got his little headpiece there. I'm not sure about that wing now. I quite like it, but I don't think it's the right sort of shape. Just like that bit. Maybe we go double wing. Let's go that way. That way with that one. Oh, there we go, downwards. That's better. Now what you can then do is, if you want to do double shapes, is you can get another piece of fabric. Now to get your backing off, if you just give it a rip, the backing peels off. And what you can then do is iron that. Hopefully my iron's still hot enough. Yep. You can iron that then onto another piece, and then cut that out. Do a bit bigger than what I need. Oh, that's cute. Quite like that. Got his legs, got that, got that. Then I need his little tail. Diddle pom pom. Quite like those little flowers. Oh, I could stick those on at the bottom. Let's cut those out. Keep those for the bottom bit. And then I quite like that fabric, but I like the yellow. Or do I go, oh, I might go blue, and then actually I can stitch onto the top of that. Oh, it's going to go off. Oh, curve it inwards. There's my little birdie. Right then, so put the iron back on. Oh. While that's warming up, I shall grab some threads. As if I'd not got my threads ready. That's very remiss of me. It's going to be the one, isn't it? The yellows. Yep, yellows and oranges, all at the very, very bottom of my pile. Excuse me for a second. Probably hear a massive crash as I try and pull it out expertly, and then it's not very, very expertly. Let's have a look. Oh, oh, there we go. Oh, sorted. Awesomeness. Okay, so I've got my yellow box of threads. Just choose a few colours. Proper yellow, orangey colour as well. Then I could do with a dark blue. What have I got? Oh, I've got a linen thread. That'll save me going through everything else, I think. Oh. Go variegated. Oops. Oh, best laid plans. Oh, there go. I've got that blue one there. Right, okay, iron's warmed up. I'm back. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to move all these little bits out. I want to keep those bits. Move those out of the way. Right then. So I need to put the bits that are going down in the background first, pop those on. So just need to peel off the back. Biddly biddly, there we go. Right, so if I just get my little body, so I know where he's going to go. That little leg. That. Normally what you can do is just pull it, or just rip, and it rips the back in, and then you can peel it off. The little leg. Still not sure about that. Okay. Just peel the backing off. So you could make these really, I suppose, true to life if you want to. And so coming into winter, you might decide to do a robin. You could do a tiny little robin, or a blackbird, or a flamingo, a parrot. Could be absolutely anything. Can't wait to see what people come up with. But if you keep your shapes quite simple, right, got his little beak. So I'm just popping these down and then just ironing them on, just so that I know where they're going to go, and then I can pop the body over the top. I think for his eye I might use a little bead or a French knot. Trying to cut out something really, really small would be crackers. So need to lift that up, pop his tail underneath. That's not sticking down, so that needs a proper iron. So I'll just grab a piece of baking paper, hold it over, make sure it's really stuck down. Oh, look at him, he's cute. Little fancy bits for his head. There we go. There's one. concentrating so much I can't talk at the same time. That's unheard of. Sorry, I keep reorganise my desk. So I apologise if I keep disappearing off screen. I'm still getting used to the new layout of everything, which has been better because it's meant I've got a lot more room. It just means that everything's off kilter a little bit. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Little bits are a bit fiddlier. Right, so then I've got these tiny little flowers which were cute. Yep. Cut these out. I'm not going to try and cut actually round them. I can just pop a few at the bottom of my little birdie. There we go. So I know when we did this and we were doing the little cups of tea, I loved all the different variations of cups and mugs and things like that, so I am quite excited to see everybody's little birds. It'll just be so cool. Now, if I don't want to do feet, I can cover them with the flowers. Stitching feet, actually, I've said that I've done that, and they're actually quite simple to do. So when it comes to stitching, you'll be able to add any type of decoration that you want to add to this. Absolutely anything at all goes. Oops. Something else stuck behind there. So absolutely anything goes. Just really simple straight stitches. You could go pistils, French knots, dare I say bullions. I know a lot of you really don't like me because of the bullion knots, sorry, but they are amazing. I don't think I'll be doing them again this year though, but maybe next year. You never know. I quite like odd numbers. I think we'll just go 3. Okay, right. So I can move all these bits out of the way. So when you've done your applique, which I didn't think we'd be doing again, but it is so well, it is applique. We can then start adding our stitching to start decorating our little bird. If I pop him on his tag, there he is. All the little bits and pieces. So let's thread a needle. Always helps. Got a little white here, so I think I'm going to give him a little French knot for his eye. Or I just had a thought then. Oh, these are cute. No idea why these are on my desk. Can't remember what I was using them for. But oh, look at that! It's tiny, tiny sequin. Right. Sort of giving him a bit of a crazed, demented look. But hey ho. Hopefully, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4 French knot and go down, that might be enough to keep it in place. Or you could do a tiny little bead. There we go. Oh look, second they get an eye, then you have to give them a name. This is Billy. No idea why he's called Billy, but he is called Billy. Okay, so we can come back in now. We can do different stitches that we've probably done before. So what I'm going to do here is to create a bit of decoration on Billy's back. I'm just going to do a little back stitch. And then I'm going to do a Pekingese stitch. So we did that back in week 20. I do like a Pekingese stitch. I think it's just so pretty. So when you're doing your bird and you're choosing your colours, think about contrasts of colours. Darks and lights work really, really well. So like the dark body on the lighter fabric, if you go for a darker fabric, go for a lighter body. Got that there. Right, the one stitch you have to do on a bird, it's very, very important, will be a pistol stitch. So that's where you're doing a French knot stitch, 5, but your knot goes down a little bit away. Sorry, bring this down a little bit. So I've just done my little back stitch, and while I've just got this thread, I'm just going to do a pistol stitch. So point your needle away from the hole, wrap it round, just keep a little bit of tension on that thread. I'll do 3 in that colour. Go. Doesn't matter if your bird bits go off the edge, the only bit you'll just have to be careful of is obviously that's got bonder web on the back. So you do need to be careful. If you're finding that it's sticking, just pop a little bit of fabric on the back and iron it onto it so it stops it from sticking to anything else. Then you can just trim it to the shape that you are using. Okay, so let's go with a Pekingese. Oops. So I'd normally use a blunt needle for this, but because I'm not organised, I don't think I've got a blunt needle handy. What's that one? No, that's a leather needle. That's definitely not blunt. Try this one. I don't know, I thought I was going to be really, really organised today. And I'm really not. Oh. Go back to that one. These mats are great because you can stick things in them. So when you're planning your bird, if you're not sure what to do, just use, if you've got a little sewing mat, just use pins just to hold things in place. Okay. Right, I've got to remember which way to do this now. So, a Pekingese stitch. I'm going to come up between those 2 stitches there, and then just go underneath that thread, and then you go back one, making sure you don't go through your fabric, don't pull it too tight, and on one. Go back one and then go underneath both. Oops. And on one. There we go. Back one. Oops. And so you could make these super loopy. It's just made me think of a song that used to be when I was little. Super loopy nuts are we. We're all super loopy. I think, oh God, I think that's just a football thing. I think it's, yeah, I don't even like football. That's a bit scary though, that's what I've remembered. Just use your needle then just to pull your loops up. And sort of giving him a decorative back. So then this is when you can start going really, really fancy. So even if you've just used some really, really simple fabrics, the stitching then that you start doing will really start adding to this. Oops, there we go. The trick with it is making sure that you're going underneath the threads and that you're not catching the fabric. You can sort of see that I'm getting my little loopies. Billy the bird. Bless his cotton socks. Right, and then when you've done, and you get to the end, just go through to the back. So while you've got that thread, you can then just use it to start adding other stitches. So I could start coming down a little bit of a blanket stitch. I've got about 4 layers of fabric here, which makes me realise it was a good decision not to use that other piece of backing, because I think I really would have struggled. I think it's actually stopped raining. It's been very dark this here today. Well, now we're on winter time in the UK. Gets that bit where I go to work in the dark and I come home in the dark. And then it's just quite nice on a weekend to see the daylight. You feel like you miss like weeks of your life because you're just stuck inside. Right, so I'm going to get these ones. Whoop. Just wiggling that because hopefully that's carried on recording. I hope it did, sorry. I think didn't realise it's been going on nearly 40 minutes. God, this is a long one this week. My computer, I think, just decided then I wasn't here anymore. So switched itself off. Okay. You don't have to sit and watch me doing all this. I'm going to do my usual, where this is where I sort of finish with the video. And then I'll finish my little tag and I will add some photos at the end. So all I'm going to do is just add some more stitching. I'll probably do a bit of stitching on the floor where he's stood, give him a little bit of grounding. That's just crackers. Time's just flown. Don't feel like I've been sat here 40 minutes at all. So that's the start of Billy, my little birdie. So like I say, I can't wait to see the little bird that you make this week. So happy stitching, everybody. Take care, and I will see you, well, I'll meet you usual time, usual place next week. See you soon.